My name is what? My name is who? My name is Dyl Talks Sports. Let's get it. This is Dyl Talks Sports.
Yo, what's up, everybody? As the video said, this is Dyl Talks Sports. It's your favorite time of the day. It's time for Dyl's predictions of the week. So, again, appreciate everyone joining along. I love doing this. I love talking about sports with you guys. One day soon, hopefully going to get some guests on and talk with them about sports, and we'll go from there, and it'll be beautiful. So, really excited for that day to come. And just grind it. But like I said, let's get into it. Week 3, college football picks. So week 3 starts off top 25 matchups. I'm going to do top 25 and a couple matchups I like. Let me know in the comments down below what teams you guys like, and I'll talk about them every week as well. So keep building that following base and get it going. But anyways, let's get to it. Indiana State. Battle of the Hoosier State against the Indiana Hoosiers or the Indiana State Sycamores. All I know is Larry Bird isn't reincarnated as a GOAT football player for Indiana State, so we're going to go with Indiana. Easy. That's all. No offense to Indiana State Sycamores. I know someone that played there. Shout out my buddy Cade. But yeah, Indiana should overpower them, I would think. Next game we got is the Wyoming Cowboys versus the Utah Utes. I'm going to be a little biased in saying this, but I'm going to go with the Wyoming Cowboys, mainly based on the fact that I played there. But, yeah, we're going with the Wyoming Cowboys. I think Utah's a great team. They always got a good defense. I think it's Ken Worthington or Whittington is a really good coach and always has those boys. But Wyoming, man, they play hard. They got that Josh Allen magic, and they're going to be all right. I think Utah's favored by a lot of points. We're going to go with Utah, Wyoming upset at home. Got to do an upset of the week. That's my upset. Why not? Oregon, Northwestern. Got to ride with Oregon. Dante Moore, I think it is. You know, he's been really impressing me, man. Just looks completely like everything that he was billed to be. So, I like Oregon in that game. Northwestern, I know they got Preston Stone as their quarterback, old quarterback at SMU. Knew him, but Oregon's just, I didn't think, be too much. So, the versus the you know. Next game we got is Clemson versus Georgia Tech. Clemson hasn't impressed me the first 2 weeks with LSU and then last week with Troy. Yeah, Troy. And Georgia Tech looks great. I think Georgia Tech, this is a game that Georgia Tech could win. I think Haynes King is a lot to handle when you're playing Georgia Tech. And I think Kay Klubnik hasn't showed me enough on Clemson's end to say, hey, this guy's going to be the Heisman. This guy's the best quarterback I've seen in a while. So I'm riding with Georgia Tech in this game. That might be another upset. That might be crazy, but I like the Yellow Jackets. And, yeah. So next game, Oklahoma-Temple. Oklahoma coming off a huge win against Michigan. Only moved up a few spots, which I think was crazy. But John Mateer showing he's a great transfer quarterback and great for that team. The defense of Oklahoma is looking great. Brett Venables, who used to be the defense coordinator of Clemson, is now the head coach at Oklahoma, which is good to see that the defense is translating. And yeah, they should beat Temple. I mean, it's Temple. I mean, yeah. Like, no offense to Temple, but it's Temple. Next game we got Wisconsin, Alabama. Wisconsin somehow 2-0. No idea how, because I watched them play Middle Tennessee State and I watched them play someone else. They didn't look that good. And Alabama, you know, they lost to Florida State. Everyone thought the ceiling was falling in, and Florida State isn't going to just be garbage every year. They were bad one year because something happened. They got DJ Uiagalelei, who's overrated. Now they got a quarterback, and they're good again. So Alabama lost to a really good team on the road. They should at home beat up on Wisconsin, but if not, then you can tell me that Kalen DeBoer is ruining Alabama. We'll go from there. Next game, Michigan Central Michigan coming off that tough loss to Oklahoma. They're going to bounce back. Bryce Underwood, of course, you know, true freshman quarterback, getting the experience that he needs. You know, that was a tough environment he played in, probably a tough environment he played in last week. So, you know, they're going to get a bounce back. Michigan's going to be fine. Big Ten's going to be tough, though. Some tough teams. You know, they got Oregon, Penn State, Ohio State, you know, just name a few. So we'll see what happens in there. But Next game, South Alabama and Auburn. I don't really think this needs explaining, but we're going to go with Auburn. I've liked what I've seen from Auburn this year. It seems like the system is back to a system that works, a running system. Their quarterback is a bully. Jackson Arnold, that's who it is. Jackson Arnold just dominates the run game, and that's really good to see. So I think Auburn could make some noise in the SEC this year, and I think they have to for their coach to even have a chance to stay. But yeah, that's how that is. And of course, my page isn't working when I'm trying to look at other things for more games. So I see UTEP and Texas, so we can still talk about that. So Texas, Arch, Texas, he didn't play that good week 1, played great week 2 against a way worse opponent. UTEP's going to be that same kind of opponent. Want to see Arch continue to develop, continue to have control of the offense, and continue to grow with the system. I think that first game coming out against Ohio State, that's a tough game to throw any quarterback into, and I'll be the first one to say I went on record and said that I wasn't convinced he's the best ever, and I'm still not. I'm still not convinced that this dude's a world changer. I mean, he's a great player. Don't get me wrong. He's a great player, and he will be a great player, and he'll continue to grow as a quarterback. But coming off never starting to saying that he's going to be a Heisman winner, I think is just a little far-fetched and a little bit crazy. So, yeah, didn't end up being that crazy, but that's where we go from there. Next game that we can talk about, because this thing's still not working, is Tennessee and Georgia. Tennessee at home, Georgia on the road. Another one I'm going to say, I love the Volunteers in this game. I love them. I think they're really, really good. I think Joey Aguilar is coming off of, he's been doubted his whole life. He's ready to prove that he's really, really good, and for them to take a chance on him. And Josh Heupel, I think, sees a lot of himself in Joey Aguilar, so he's taking akin to him, which is awesome. And it's great to see. But I think Tennessee, like I said, I think Tennessee's going to win the game. I think they're a better team. Georgia hasn't really impressed me at all this year. Mike Bobo, of course, is Mike Bobo, and he's just not a very good coach. I'm not a Mike Bobo guy. I think he makes a lot of bad decisions and has cost his team a lot of wins. I mean, as soon as Todd Monken left, Georgia loses their dominance. So was it Stetson? Stetson's great, but was he? You say Carson Beck's better than Stetson, so where to go? Exactly. I just think Tennessee's going to overwhelm him. I think Gunnar Stockton. I think the backup quarterback for Georgia is actually better than Gunnar Stockton. I can't recall his name right now, but I think that's what's going to happen. If they want to win that game, I think the back quarterback has to play, but we'll see. I think it's going to be a battle, a good old-fashioned SEC beatdown on Saturday at 2:30 p.m. on ABC Neyland Stadium, Knoxville, Tennessee. I live down here now, so I love it. But next game, Villanova, Penn State. I don't think this is really a question. Villanova's a basketball school, and Penn State, if they want to do anything this year, be that top team they always think they are, then it's time to beat Villanova by a lot at home. So, yeah. I don't know why this keeps skipping around so much. Ohio State, Ohio. That's another great game. I think Ohio State got it in the bag. I don't think that's crazy to say. Ohio State's better. Julian Sand really, came out last game and looked a lot better. He didn't look like he's never played football before, like I thought he kind of did when they played Texas. But again, two really good teams, two quarterbacks getting their first start. It's always going to be tough like that. So, yeah, Ohio State wins that game. The defense is good. Matt Patricia is running a defense, NFL defense in college, and it's amazing. So, good for him getting an opportunity. I don't know why people thought because he had one bad gig as a head coach that he's a bad coach. He was one of the best defense coordinators forever. So, whatever. Next game, Texas Tech, Oregon State. Texas Tech 2-0, Oregon State 0-2. Haven't really watched either team this year. No, just haven't really seen them on TV. Going to go Texas Tech based on record. Texas Tech usually has a really good high-powered offense as well, which I love. So, next game, Iowa State, Arkansas State. Iowa State has been kind of on a tear this year after they winning the first game in Dublin against Kansas State. Rocco Beck's a really, really good quarterback. Has the pedigree. Dad played in the NFL. So, I think Iowa State wins this game. I just think they're a better team. It's probably their year to win the Big 12 if they want to do something. So, yeah. Next game, Louisiana versus Missouri. I like Missouri in the game. I think Missouri's always that team in the SEC that just kind of doesn't get talked about ever, and they're always really, really decent or really, really good. Like, they probably won't win the SEC, but they're always going to be top 5, top 3, top 4. It's crazy what they do. It's just they don't get talked about, but always have a really good high-powered offense. You know, their coach has been consistently there and a consistently good coach. So, already talked about Texas and UTEP, but it didn't want to do anything. So, next game, South Florida, Miami. Going to be my favorite game probably of the weekend. This is going to be crazy for a lot of my viewers, but I'm going with South Florida. I'm going with the Bulls. Go Bulls. I just think the Bulls have been on a tear. You know, they beat Florida, they got the confidence. They beat Boise State, they got the confidence. Going down to Miami, going to be maybe a hostile environment. I don't think it's going to be as hostile as Gainesville was. So I think South Florida's, you know, they got the seniors on the team. The coach has been there for a couple of years. He's been building a lot. Really like the coach. I got to look up his name because he's really good. South Florida's coach. Alex Golesh. Yeah. Shout out Alex Golesh. You're a great coach, man. So, yeah, like I said, I think South Florida's got the experience and the senior leadership on the team to win that game. Again, Miami has Carson Beck. You know, they've been playing decent, but this would be the type of game that Miami would lose if Miami were to lose a game because they like losing these types of games. So I've seen it with some of my teams, man. So I get it. Already talked about Ohio State, Illinois, Western Michigan, hammering Illinois. Luke Altmaier is playing great this year. You know, Ole Miss transferred a couple years back. Number 9 in the country. The stadium's packed. Illinois, the champagne's getting lit again. The Fighting Illini might be back. It's great to see. People are getting excited. So if they can make some noise in the Big Ten, that'd be great. You know, be that dark horse team that kind of never gets talked about. So next game, Arkansas, Ole Miss. Got to ride with Ole Miss. Even though I think Arkansas could surprise some people. You know, Ole Miss quarterback Austin Simmons, you know, he's good. I think he makes a few too many mistakes. At least he has in the first 2 games, which could cost him later in the game. So I think that's going to be a toss-up of the week. I think it's going to be a really good game. Of course, any SEC game is really a good game. So, yeah. Next game we got is Florida LSU. LSU all day. I even if Florida didn't lose that game, they were still ranked. I like LSU a lot. Garrett Nussmeier is the best quarterback in college football. And by that, I think he's most pro ready. I think he'll be the most successful at the pro level, just taking that step. But LSU seems like they got a different attitude about them this year. They actually seem like they have the talent around what Brian Kelly's been trying to build and make happen. And I think the defense is good enough to allow that to happen as well. So I like LSU a lot in the game. I think it's going to be. I think it might be closer than people think. I see the line 7.5, but I think it might be even closer than that, just because I think Florida is going to try to play with a lot of heart. But unfortunately, Billy Napier is getting on the hot seat. So yeah. Next game we got Texas A&M Notre Dame. This is another game. Notre Dame is 0-1. They haven't played since Miami. Texas A&M 2-0. I think if Notre Dame wants to do anything this year and make the playoff, they will win this game. But I think Texas A&M is the better team, and I think Texas A&M will win the game. Boom, right there. I think Notre Dame needs to win the game, but I think Texas A&M will win. Notre Dame's going to play with a lot of heart. They're at home. They should win the game just based off everything. But I really like Texas A&M's quarterback, Reed. You know, he's kind of dual threat, kind of does it all. Best passer, best rusher. So we'll see, man. Notre Dame, they looked pretty good against Miami, but I also don't think Miami's, you know, a world beater either. I think they're a decent team. I think they're top 25, but I don't think they're top 5, top 10. So we'll see. We'll see over the year. And then the last game we got on here, at least, is Vanderbilt, South Carolina. As much as I like Vanderbilt and Diego Pavia to maybe make an upset, I think South Carolina and Sellers are just too good. But this is a game by Vanderbilt that I would not be surprised at all if they won the game. I think Diego Pavia is that much of an impact player, impact quarterback, and makes it happen. So we will see. But just a couple of quick takes. We want to run to CU Houston. We're going to go with CU just based on their new quarterback that they put in, the third stringer that now is the first stringer. Looked the most poised, looked the most college ready, and looked like he knew the playbook the best. And then lastly, SMU versus Missouri State. SMU's got to get back on track. Tough loss to Baylor last week. The kicker, senior, of course, always kickers, right? No, but it happens. It's not a couple plays, but still. SMU, you got to get back on track to win the ACC. Boom, baby. That's how we do it. That was Dyl Talks Sports. That was your best today, 15 minutes of your day. Appreciate joining along. Going to keep doing it for y'all because this is what pays me. So appreciate y'all. Keep going, and God bless. Deuces.